Hey all, my name is Paul Borosky and I am the owner of Quality Business Plan. And what I'd like to do today is to show y'all how to manipulate or modify the strategic plan template that is included in my advanced business plan package. So y'all can have it ready in 30 minutes. So first and foremost, what is the difference between a strategic plan and a business plan? Well, most people, almost everybody wants a business plan. And the business plan is important because it's going to describe what your business is going to do and how it's going to do it. However, just because you have a vehicle doesn't mean you know how to drive it, and doesn't mean that if you get behind the wheel, you're going to take it to where you want to go. What you really need also is a strategic plan. And the strategic plan is going to take you from where you are now to where you want to go in the future. And we're going to do that by breaking up into stages. You're going to want to achieve specific objectives for stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. And once you hit to stage 3 or stage 4, then you're going to get closer and closer and closer to accomplishing your vision. So your business plan is kind of like your vehicle, and your strategic plan is almost like a roadmap to success. So that's why you kind of need both the business plan and the strategic plan in order to achieve the objectives that you want to reach. All right, so without further ado, let me go ahead and give you a little bit of background about myself, and then we'll dive right into how to go ahead and update and modify the strategic plan that I've created. Now, the structure that I have created for this strategic plan template is something that I've developed. It's short and succinct, but most importantly, the stages and the steps that you go through are aligned with one another. So when you accomplish the objectives that you need to accomplish in stage 1, inevitably it's going to be leading you into the direction of stage 2 and stage 3. So it's kind of a neat little format that I've got, and let me go ahead and share it with you in just a moment. All right, the next thing I want to cover is a little bit about me, give you some experience, give you some thoughts and ideas about who I am and why I feel I am qualified to develop a strategic plan structure and to share it with y'all. First, I am a professional writer, specifically a business plan writer. So if you do need some assistance with your business plan writing or your strategic planning, please feel free to pick up the phone, give me a call, send me a text, be delighted to help. Also, I am a doctoral candidate, and my research is focused on entrepreneurial strategic planning. So I do have significant research behind me that I've used to develop the strategic plan structure that I've developed, and I am offering in my business plan template package. And finally, I am an adjunct professor and subject matter expert in both business and finance. So I do have a little bit of teaching experience behind me as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the star of the show, and the star of the show is going to be the strategic plan. For this example, I am using a strategic plan that I've developed briefly for the trucking company, but in each one of my advanced plan packages, I will have a strategic plan similar to this, but it's going to be geared more towards the different industries. For example, if you buy the advanced business plan template for restaurants, the strategic plan structure is going to be the same structure, but the information is going to be more geared towards a restaurant. All right, so the first step when modifying your strategic plan is to start with your vision. Where do you want your company to go? Where do you want your company to be in 5 years? So for this right here, you're going to go ahead and put your name of your company here, and then you're going to identify how many, what are some objectives you want to accomplish in 5 years. For this sample right here, have 10 trucks in operations, exceed 25% profit margin, and then employ 15 workers. So the 15 workers could be 10 of the drivers, maybe a couple dispatch, and so on. But we don't want to go into too many details right here because we're looking in 5 years. So we just want to have a direction, and our direction is the 10 trucks, the profit margins, and the number of employees. Next, what we want to do is we want to identify all of the assets, or what do we have right now. Nobody is starting from scratch when you start in a business. You've got some assets, you got some experiences. Right here is a place that you want to start listing those. Maybe you're a driver. Maybe you saved $10,000 for equity funding. Make a list of, maybe you've made a list of possible funding sources. wherever you are right now, make sure to go ahead and document that information right here. So this is the first section, is to identify your vision and to gather your thoughts and ideas about where you're at presently. The next step is going to be the stages. So I always start with stage 3, and the stage 3, or you can start with stage 3, stage 5, whatever you want to be. But this stage 3 right here needs to be identical to your vision, because once you attain stage 3, once you're done with stage 3, you should have your vision attained. So what I'll do is I'll copy and paste right here, control copy, and I just literally just paste the information right here. So where do you want to be in 5 years? Again, you're going to want to have 10 trucks on the road. You're going to want to be at a 25% profit margin, and then you're going to want 15 employees. Next is going to be, again, identify the time frame in which you need to have this accomplished, and then how much funding are you going to need in addition to what you've already invested. So between stage 2 and stage 3, how much funding are you going to need? This is going to help you give you some thoughts and ideas about when you're going to need additional funding later on. The next is going to be stage 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste right here, and I'll put it right here. I'll copy and paste it right here, and then I'm going to work backwards. In stage 2, year 2, we need to have 5 trucks on the road. We want to exceed a 5% profit margin, and we want to have 7 employees. So we are now aligned. We are moving into the direction. If we have 5 trucks on the road and 5% profit margins and 7 workers, well, we are on our way to getting 10 trucks, 25% profit margin, and 15 workers. If we don't have 5 trucks, or if we don't have the 7 employees, we haven't finished stage 2 yet. So that's how the alignment works. It's simple, it's straightforward, but if y'all are going to see how we're going to work backwards to this. So it's kind of neat. All right, next is going to be, you're going to want to say when you're going to want this accomplished. This is going to be in 2 years. And then how much additional funding are you going to need from the previous stage? In this example, it's going to be $250,000. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste that right here and put it right here. And then we're going to work backwards. How many trucks do we want to have 1 truck in operation at the end of year 1? We want to have a 2.5% profit margin, and we want to have 3 employees at the end of the first year. At the end of the first year, in order to achieve this, we need funding of $250,000. So now we've got a time frame for which we need to have this accomplished, the dollar amount that we need to have accomplished, and we have 3 set objectives. Please keep in mind, you can change these objectives, but if you change the objectives and you add objectives, make sure you start at year 5. Update your objectives at year 5, then work backwards to year 2, and then work backwards to year 1. Now, once we have our year 1 objectives identified, we are then going to copy that information there, and we're going to put it to stage 1. We are now moving into our plan of action. So we have just completed the stages. We've completed the vision section. We are now at the plan of action section. So this is when we're ready to start taking some actions. So for stage 1, like I said, I've copied this information here, and I've also identified the dollar amount for funding right here, and I've pulled that down as a bullet point. So now what we need to do is we need to take each one of these objectives here in stage 1. We need to break these out into actions. What actions do we need to take? So for have 1 truck in operations, we'll take that and we'll pull it down here. And then we're going to identify steps that we need to do right now in order to achieve this action plan objective. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing for exceed 2.5% profit margins. We'll bring it down here, and we're going to identify actions that we can take right now in order to move our organization to exceed a 2.5% profit margin. Next is going to be a marketing strategy. I do add the marketing strategy because, that is some of the things that we're going to need. So I'm going to add for the action plan. This is also, I'm going to take in a little bit more details for the startup of the organization. So when you accomplish the actions needed and you take steps towards the actions needed for each one of these objectives, inevitably you're going to get the funding, you're going to launch your marketing program, you're going to exceed the 2% profit margin, and you're going to have a truck on the road. Once you have achieved all of your action plans that are needed, you would then change out the stage 1. you'll take the stage 2, you copy the stage 2, you bring this down here into your action plan, and then you're going to identify new actions that are needed in order to achieve your stage 2. Now, if you all follow this process and you knock out the actions needed and you achieve your objectives for stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, inevitably you're going to accomplish your vision in a strategic, methodological order, and you're going to be right in the way. So hopefully this information is helpful. You kind of see how I've developed the plan of action to be interwoven with the strategic planning, and how that the strategic planning aligns your objectives and your actions to help you achieve your objectives that you want to be and where you want to be in 1 year and 3 years and 5 years. So hopefully this information was helpful, and if you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up and make sure to use this tutorial when you're updating your own strategic plan as well. All right, as always, have a fantastic day. Thank you.